Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to use keyframes or how to add keyframes in Premiere Pro. Whether you are using the Premiere Pro CS6, Premiere Pro CC or later version or Premiere Pro 2020 or even the Premiere Pro, the method is same for almost all the version of the Premiere Pro. So now let me show you. Keyframes are used to create animation in Premiere Pro. So you can use the different parameters for creating the animation. You can use the position keyframe or you can do scale animation with the help of keyframes. So first understand the basics. There need to be two keyframes. One is the starting position. Second is the end position for the animation. Only then it would work. Alright. So let me show you. This is the clip. You have to make sure you select this clip. Once you select the clip, thereafter just go to the effects control. If it is not shown over here, just go to the windows and select the effects control. Alright, and that way it would be visible somewhere around here. So over here you can see in the motion panel we have the position, we have the scale, we have the rotations, and we have other options as well. But basically animation is being created with the help of position, scale, rotation, or sometimes even with the opacity. But most of the time you use the position or scale. Alright, or even the rotation, but in this case I'll show you how to use the position, scale or rotation. Alright, and you see this little stopwatch icon just before every parameter like position, and this is basically keyframes. So you can add keyframes with the help of this. So if you click over here, that's going to create the keyframe. So this is the keyframe. Alright, so similarly you can add to the scale, and that's going to add the keyframe where your playhead is right now. Alright, and if you move it further, and now if you want to add the keyframe, you can just click here, and that's going to create the second keyframe, and over here as well. Alright, now we have the starting and then starting position, and then we have the end position. Alright, so this was basically adding the keyframe. But now let me show you how to animate it. So once you understand the basics, let me remove all these keyframes. And in this particular video, I want to just zoom in where this lady just types in something. Okay. And before that, I just want to keep it something like this. Alright. So I'll just go where she is typing, maybe this over here. So I'll just move my playhead over here and I'll go back to the scale position and the position. Alright. So I'll click on the position to add a keyframe and click on the scale to add a keyframe. So now these two keyframes would be our starting position. So we'll just select both of these by dragging with your mouse, something like this, and drawing this rectangle over these keyframes and drag it back. Alright, and now we need to create two keyframes right over here. So either you can create by just hovering your mouse over the position of scale and just over it. So I want to zoom, and you can see right now it's not visible, so we need to adjust the Y position of the clip. So we'll just drag it something like this. Okay, you can click on the motion, and with the help of mouse you can choose any position you want. Right, so something like this is good, and you can see this automatically creates the keyframe for you. Right, and if you just play it now, let's see, and it just zoom in. Alright, so it zooms in very slowly, but if you want to increase its speed, just select these two keyframes and drag it closer, so that way we'll get the faster animation. So let's play it. You can see now this zooms in very fast, and if you want to zoom out, just go back over here, and now we can click on the reset parameters. That's going to add another keyframe right over here, and for the scale as well, and that would move on to the original position. Alright, so now if we just play it, let's see, there's zooms. Okay, this is very close, so we need to increase its gap. So we'll increase it something like this, and now let's play it, or let's play it from here. So it's just normal, and it zooms in, and you can see this is happening very fast. So we don't want that. We want this to stay here for a while. So what we can do, we can select these two keyframes and press Alt or Option to copy them and drag with our mouse while holding Alt or Option. So that's going to create copies of these keyframes, and then we'll just scale these little bit further, the last keyframes. And now if you just play it, so it zooms in, stays over here. This is not staying for little longer, So we can again increase its gap, maybe something like this. And now if we just play it zooms in, stays over here, and then goes out. Okay, so you can adjust its position anywhere you like. So now you can see it zooms in and zooms out. All right, so this is how you can create the keyframes in Premiere Pro or add the keyframes in Premiere Pro. But here I want to add a pro tip so that you can use the keyframes or the animation properly. So that's the basic way of adding the keyframes using this motion parameters. But if you want to learn the professional way, just go to the effects panel and search for transform, and under the distort you will find the transform effect. Just drag this over your clip, okay, and then just go back to the effects control over here. Let me just remove all these keyframes. Okay, if you want to remove the keyframe, just click on this stopwatch, and this is going to show you that it is going to delete all the keyframes. We are fine with that, and similarly for the scale as well. Okay, and now if you just move a little bit down under the effects control, here you will see the transform effect which we have just added. So here we have all the parameters like position and scale. All right, so using these, again we have all the options, so we can create the animation right over here. So the benefit of creating the animation over here is, let me show you. Let me first see that from here it's the normal position. So I'll just select on the position to create a keyframe and click on the scale to create a scale keyframe, and then I'll just move where she started typing something over here, and then I'll scale it something like this, and then I'll adjust the Y position over here, and you can see this has created the keyframes. And now I can copy last two keyframes by pressing Alt or Option and selecting them and dragging somewhere over here. Okay, and if I just play it, then it zoom in and stays over here, and thereafter I can just press the reset on the scale and as well as on the position, and then if I just see, so you can see it just zooms in, stays over there, and just zoom out. All right, so this is the animation. So now we can even save this animation. So we can select the transform effect, right click and save this preset, and we can just name it zoom preset, so in and out. Okay, and we can press OK. And now suppose if I delete this transform option and I want to apply the same position, so again I'll go back to effects control panel, and under the preset you will find that preset. So if you just find, type zoom preset, so that was the zoom preset in and out which we have just created. So we'll just drag and drop it right over here. So if we just play it now, you can see it zooms in and zooms out, so we don't have to do it. So now we can use it on any clip very easily, and we don't have to go through the process of creating the animation again and again. Okay, and let me show you the advantage of using the transform instead of motion. So here if we change the this motion somewhere else, like suppose I want to zoom in a little bit further, so if I let's say zoom in something like this, and if I just play it, still this animation would work the way I want. But if you have a clip, let me show you this one, and you are not using the transform and you are just using the position and scale keyframe, and now if suppose you want to just change the scale, suppose you don't want this much of scale and you want more scale, so what you will do, you just like your playhead in the beginning and you scale it, so that would going to add a new keyframe. You can see if I scale it a little bit further, this is going to add a new keyframe, and your whole animation would be just ruined. You can see how bad it looks. It just zooms out and zooms in again. Isn't this bad? So that's why it's very easy to use the transform effect. But if you have the transform effect, like in this case, I can zoom in or reposition it anywhere, and my original keyframes or original keyframe position would not be affected. So if I just play it, you can see it just zooms in and zooms out, so that original position stays as it is, and this position of the motion I can adjust to anything. So that's the advantage of using the transform. So professional animators use this option. So if you want to use this option, you can use it. So thank you so much. I hope you have understood the basics of creating animation or adding keyframes in Premiere Pro. If you have any question, always leave that in the comment section below, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to share the video with others. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next video.